Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential problem. And make sure to stick until the end of the problem, where I have 3 bonus problems that are similar to this one, which you guys can try to solve. Alright, so I have 8 to the power of 8 plus 8 to the power of 8 plus 8 to the power of 8 plus 8 to the power of 8. So I actually have 4 answer choices for this problem. Answer choice A, this is 32 to the power of 8. Answer choice B, this is 8 to the power of 32. Answer choice C, this is 32 to the power of 32. And finally, answer choice D, this is 2 to the power of 26. So now let's go ahead and go through all these answer choices. So for answer choice A, how you get 32 to the power of 8 is you simply add all the bases together and keep the exponent the same. So I have 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 to the power of 8. Now 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 8 is 24, 24 plus 8 is 32, so I have 32 to the power of 8. And this method is actually wrong. You can't add exponents like that. You can't simply just add all the bases and keep the exponent the same. So now for answer choice B, we have 8 to the power of 32. And how you get this answer is you keep the base the same and you add all the exponents. So I have 8 to the power of 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equal to, now 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 8 is 24, 24 plus 8 is 32. So I get 8 to the power of 32. And this method is wrong as well. That's not how you add exponents, that's not how you add these terms. You can't just simply add all the exponents together. So now for C, how you get 32 to the power of 32 is you add both of them. You add all the bases together, and then you add all the exponents together as well. And this would result in 32 to the power of 32. And this is wrong as well. That's not how you add exponents. So now finally for D, which is actually the right answer, how you get this is you first start by factoring out 8 to the power of 8. So now 8 to the power of 8 times, well, 8 to the power of 8 divided by 8 to the power of 8 is 1. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Now if I simplify this in the parentheses, I get 8 to the power of 8 times 4. And now 8, this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3, right? And 4, this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 2. So now I have 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 8 times 2 to the power of 2. Now if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 8, that's going to equal 2 to the power of 3 times 8, times 2 to the power of 2. 3 times 8 is 24, so I have 2 to the power of 24 times 2 to the power of 2. Now if I have something in the form a to the power of m times a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So 2 to the power of 24 times 2 to the power of 2, it's going to equal 2 to the power of 24 plus 2, which is equal to 2 to the power of 26. So this is the right answer. Power 40 plus 2 to the power 40 plus 2 to the power 40 plus 2 to the power 40. And I actually have 4 answer choices for this problem. So for A, I have 2 to the power of 160. For B, I have 8 to the power of 40. For C, I have 2 to the power of 42. And for D, I have 2 to the power of 21. All right, let's go through all these answer choices. So for A, how they got 2 to the power of 160 was you keep the base the same, and then you simply add all the exponents. So you do 2 to the power of 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40. And 40 plus 40 is 80, 80 plus 40 is 120, 120 plus 40 is 160. So you have 2 to the power of 160. And this method is actually wrong because that's not the right way to add exponents. Now let's try out B. B is 8 to the power of 40. How you get this is you keep the exponent the same and you simply add the bases. So you do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 to the power of 40. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, so you have 8 to the power of 40. And this method is also wrong, because that is not the right way to add exponents. You can't simply add the bases all together. Now for C, what you do is you first start by factoring out 2 to the power of 40. So now you have 2 to the power of 40 times 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, because 2 to the power of 40 divided by 2 to the power of 40 is 1. Now, by simplifying with parentheses, 2 to the power of 40 times 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. So I have 2 to the power of 40 times 4. Now 4, this is the same thing as 2 squared. So now I have 2 to the power of 40 times 2 squared. And now if I have something in the form a to the power of m times a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So 2 to the power of 40 times 2 to the power of 2, it's going to equal 2 to the power of 40 plus 2, and 40 plus 2 is 42, so I have 2 to the power of 42. And this is actually the right way of adding these 4 terms. So this C is my answer. 3 to the power of x plus 3 to the power of x plus 3 to the power of x is equal to 1. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out 3 to the power of x from my left-hand side. So now I have 3 to the power of x times, now 3 to the power of x divided by 3 to the power of x is 1, so I have 3 to the power of x times 1 plus 1 plus 1. Now this is equal to 1. Now 1 plus 1 plus 1, this is going to be 3. So now I have 3 to the power of x times 3 is equal to 1. And now from here, I actually have 2 methods to solving this problem. So for method 1, 3 here, this is the same thing as 3 to the power of 1. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m times a to the power of n, this is equal to 1. This is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of 1, that's going to be 3 to the power of x plus 1. Now this is equal to 1. Now 1 here, this is the same thing as 3 to the power of 0, because anything with the power of 0 is equal to 1. So now I have 3 to the power of x plus 1 is equal to 3 to the power of 0. And now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, then this means that m is equal to n. So in this case, x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1 on both sides, so these two cancel out, and I'm left with x is equal to negative 1. So this is my answer. Now for method 2, so I have 3 to the power of x times 3 is equal to 1. Now I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So now I have 3 to the power of x is equal to 1 over 3. And now, if I have something in the form 1 over a to the power of n, this is the same thing as a to the power of negative n. So in this case, I have 1 over 3 to the power of 1. And this is the same thing as 3 to the power of negative 1. And now if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, this means that m is equal to n. So in this case, x is equal to negative 1. Now to check, I have 3 to the power of x plus 3 to the power of x plus 3 to the power of x is equal to 1. And we know that x is equal to negative 1, so now I have 3 to the power of negative 1 plus 3 to the power of negative 1 plus 3 to the power of negative 1 is equal to 1. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of negative n, this is equal to 1 over a to the power of n. So 3 to the power of negative 1, this is going to be equal to 1 over 3 to the power of 1. 3 to the power of 1 is the same thing as 3, so I have 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is equal to 1. Now, 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is 2 over 3, so I have 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is equal to 1, and 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is 3 over 3. Anything divided by itself is 1, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I have 1 equals 1, and this is right.